say it all the time, Westworld was a documentary. I'm in. People come up to me like, it seems daily, and they say, alrighty. Hard to tell the good from the bad, the villains from the heroes these days. That would be from No Time to Die of the Bond series. Harder to tell the good from bad, villains from heroes these days. You know, I got a call from my agent, as one does, saying, hey, they want you to play this CIA guy, so I'll send it to you if you're interested. I mean, yeah, send it to me. And then I get the script, and for some reason it didn't hit me until I read it. I'm like, CIA guy, this is Felix Leiter, man. What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I'm in. I was a huge Bond fan, as many young boys are. And I loved Sean Connery, and, I loved Jack Lord.
Let's not get excited.
He was just, with those oversized sunglasses, and he was just so styled out and so cool that, that was all the invitation I needed. And we did a few of them, had a good run. These violent delights have violent ends. That's actually from Romeo and Juliet, but borrowed by the writers Jonah Nolan and Lisa Joy of Westworld. Yeah. These violent delights have violent ends. The common requirement for anything good is good writing. This was such challenging writing, so topical. I love the architecture of the writing, the architecture of the storytelling as it related to the technology. Super thoughtful, I think super prescient, the work that we were doing. Initially, when I decided to do this, and this was the first series that I'd done for that length of time, I thought I'd get bored, but it was anything but that. What I found was it gives you the opportunity really to begin to sink in even deeper into an understanding of who the character is, so that it almost becomes like just a second skin, to the point where you can have moments of real clarity and freedom, and you can get it right.
That's enough, Bernard. Doesn't get yourself worked up.
When each of us walks out of this hotel today, we'll be stepping into Westworld. I think we're Westworld. I say it all the time. Westworld was a documentary. We're living it now. Alrighty. You could have at least pulled that punch, man. That would be from the Batman. That's Gordon to the Batman himself. Could have at least pulled that punch, man. The funny thing about this scene, though, we stopped filming in March of 2020 because we shut down because, of COVID. Everybody was a little bit uneasy and wondering whether or not we were going to go on, and we're filming that scene, and we're all crammed into this relatively small space that was this, this holding cell. And one of the actors sneezed. And all heads in that room turned at once to him. And I don't know, that might have been one of the triggers for us deciding to shut down and go home. I wanted to bring a legitimacy that was grounded in the contemporary and grounded in the Gotham that Matt Reeves had created. And I also wanted to pay homage to the history of the character and the history of the franchise. It's maintained its popularity for almost 100 years now. But at the same time, ours is Batman, a Gotham, a Gordon for the 21st century. I'm hearing a lot of very good news about how things are heading, what direction they're heading. Obviously, Matt announced that he has finished the script, which is very exciting. I haven't read it yet, but I look forward to that. And I look forward to getting back to Gotham. What is this? That's funny. If I hear this line more than any other line that I have ever spoken in any film, people come up to me like, it seems daily, and they say, this is Egyptian cotton, motherfucker. 220 thread. It's like, I have you shitty ass paycheck, okay? That is from Shaft. That is out of the mouth of Peoples Hernandez.
This is Egyptian cotton, motherfucker. 220 thread. This is like half you shitty ass paycheck, okay?
It was just a really very eccentric character that they drew. I threw in some stuff of my own into the mix. There were certain things that I kind of tweaked, as I tend to do at times. That line was scripted by Shane Salerno and Richard Price. Another line that people throw out at me is Tiger Woo, Tiger Woo, which was something that I added. Tiger Woo, Tiger Woo. Speaking with Christian Bale's character in the jail cell, and I asked him in the script if he played tennis, kind of sizing him up as the elitist that he is. I actually had been in Scotland at the British Open, so I had golf on the mind, and Tiger Woods was playing in that tournament. And so I decided to flip that line and ask him about Tiger Woo. All righty, what do we have here? I think you got to be a little crazy sometimes in this world to get what you want. That would be a line from Highest to Lowest, a Spike Lee joint.
I think you got to be a little crazy sometimes in this world to get what you want.
He gave me one note that was particularly poignant that I really dug. We're doing a scene, my character's fairly frustrated, and he just came up and he said, go more, go more. And he was like, I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay. I'm like, cool. He's like, he gave me like, the green light to just like open it up. I appreciated that. I was like, yeah, man, okay, no problem. He wanted pedal to the metal a few times. It's always a fun direction to get. The white cracker who wrote the national anthem knew what he was doing. He set the word free to a note so high nobody could reach it. That is Belize in Tony Kushner's Angels in America. The white cracker who wrote the national anthem knew what he was doing. He set the word free to a note so high nobody could reach it. That was deliberate. That's another one that I see referenced from time to time. That's a line I've probably said more than any of these other lines in that. I said it on stage at the Walter Kerr Theater for a year and a half before doing it on film. I was the only who had been in the play on Broadway who had the joy of doing the film. That's really because I was the youngest, I think. What I was most excited about, beyond, working with Al Pacino and Meryl Streep and, being directed by Mike Nichols and revisiting these words that Tony Kushner had crafted, because I saw it as an opportunity to kind of explore a new level of intimacy with them in terms of the performance. I just wanted to relish his words and his language and his syntax and his thoughts and play the music in a new, for me, and subtle way. All right, it's this one. He says he's jealous of the moon because you look at it. He's jealous of the sun because it warms you. He says, I feel you even when I'm not feeling you. I talk to you when I'm not talking to you. I love you even when I'm not loving you. That is from Basquiat.
He says, he's jealous of the moon because you look at it. He's jealous of the sun because it warms you.
I was able to kind of be a shepherd for a certain part of his story and as an introduction to his work to many people who hadn't experienced his work before. So I took that very seriously, and I wanted to do justice to his character to the extent that I could, because the more I knew of his work, the more I studied his work, the more I learned of him. I just came to admire him, respect him, and really to love what he represented. So I'm glad that so many others have kind of joined me in that since that film came out. I actually found out about the opportunity the day that I put my notice into the producers of Angels in America that I was going to finally leave the show after a year and a half. And I came home, I think, after the matinee, because I didn't live too far from the theater. And I pushed my old steam-powered answering machine next to my phone. This is back in those days. And there was a guy named Randy Sabusawa, who was a friend of mine. He had been a producer for Abel Ferrara and others. And he left this message. He said, Jeffrey, I'm helping someone cast the role of Jean-Michel Basquiat in a film about his life. And I thought of you. Give me a call back if you'd be interested. And I was like, that's the next role that I'm going to do. I guess I cast myself. I just knew, that I was trying to follow up Angels in America with something that would touch on the level of meaning that had for me. And I knew that could. There were a few steps after that, but that's when I first found out about it. And for me, that's when I knew that I would be telling that story. I love that his work is known now in a way that it wasn't. And I love, too, that his work is known well beyond the art world. The general populace, not only in America, but globally, really feels that his work speaks to them and feel that, they have some piece of him that resonates with them. Obviously, to purchase one of his pieces has become outside the reach of most people. So to be able to have, some of his images on, on your sneakers or on your T-shirt, I think that's okay.